Ricard. I'm Phil.
I'm Chuck.
And today we're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite Game of Thrones deaths.
Yes.
Deaths.
There's a lot of them.
Oh my goodness, there's so many. You know, we had a hard time actually narrowing this one down. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, if there's one thing George R.R. Martin is good at, it's killing people.
Axing them.
In fiction, I'm sure he's not a serial killer in real life.
Well, we don't know that.
I don't know that, but I'm assuming.
We don't know.
But yes, he's very good at deaths, and you know that's one of the things about Game of Thrones is that you don't always know that your favorite is going to live just because they're a main character.
That is very true. My favorite lived through the whole thing.
Yeah, me too.
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But either way, let's get to those that didn't make it. We'll start off with number 10. And number 10 is one of those deaths that was just, it
Badass.
hit you. It hit you. Yeah. Oh, it was badass. Absolutely. And that's Lady Olenna.
It was me.
It was me. Tell Cersei it was me.
I want her to know. So
Tell
good.
Cersei.
So good. It was just a F you.
Yeah, and her character was always that.
Yeah.
Her character was always the, you know...
She's the Queen of Thorns. I mean...
She didn't give a...
Yeah, no Fs. Zero Fs given.
A flying thorn.
Yeah, exactly.
And she went out that way too, and it was so cool. Just really, really cool to see. Of course, she drinks poison willingly.
Yep.
Drinks
well, she
poison.
knows she's done.
Yeah, of course. And as long as Cersei knows that it was her that killed somebody
her
else,
son. Yeah.
which we're gonna get
Well,
to.
they know.
Yeah.
If you're watching this list, you know what she did.
You know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know what's coming. All right, so let's move on to number 9.
Number 9 was an interesting death. It was a character that they always said pooped gold, and it was proven afterward that he does not. In fact, it's Tywin Lannister.
Yes, well, went out on the toilet.
Via crossbow from his son,
Yes.
Tyrion Lannister. And actually, in the actual novel, Tyrion says, he pushes him over, like, he really doesn't poop gold. So it's kind of, but it's
so great.
It's Tywin is a great character. But that build up that whole time with him and Tyrion just finally comes to a head.
Well, and you know, right to the end, Tywin is still
condescending,
demeaning and condescending, and you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And then there goes the bolt.
Yeah.
And he did that. It's just such a great death.
It is a great scene.
You know what? Speaking of great deaths, let's move on to number 8. The North remembers.
The North does remember.
And that is Walder Frey. Walder Frey went out in such a brutal manner.
He ate his own kids.
Yeah, he ate his own kids.
He did.
In a pie baked by Arya.
Yeah.
Arya took his ass out.
Oh, yeah.
And just, you know, the North remembers and saying that right before they, you know, I wanted the last face for you to see to be a Stark.
Yep.
And
great scene. Arya comes back from her training as to be no one of the faceless men, an assassin.
Yes.
And puts it to good use immediately for House Stark upon her return to Westeros. And Walt takes out Walder Frey, who, you know, killed half of her family.
Yeah, well, Walder Frey is a bastard.
Yeah, sure was.
Well, not an actual bastard, but definitely.
In that show, Walder Frey was just a dirtbag.
Yeah, a total dirtbag. You know what? Let's go ahead and move on to an actual bastard.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and move on to number 7. Now, number 7.
Ramsay Bolton.
Or Ramsay Snow, as he was originally known.
Yeah, he was Ramsay Bolton when he got killed.
Yes, he was. Yes,
and I
he was.
say killed because it was worse than killed. He got killed.
He got killed. And killed by his own dogs. Just, I mean, such a great... we looked at, you know, a lot of the deaths and, you know, how much of a relief it was that particular character got killed. And Ramsay Bolton was near the top of the list in terms of, you know, like, oh my God, finally somebody got him. But Sansa...
Well, after the one Jon Snow, I mean, led all the way up to it and appetized it and could have done the killing. You know, Sansa kind of raised her head. Oh, no, please,
you know what?
Let me do it.
Sansa deserved every bit of it, too.
She did. But Jon sufficiently beat him down It was just following the Battle of the Bastards.
There's such a badass scene within the Battle of the Bastards right at the end where Jon is just slowly walking towards him and he's shooting arrows at him. And the shield. Yeah. Oh, that's such a badass scene. So great.
It's so great. And then, Ramsay was famous for feeding everyone to his dogs. And, you reap what you sow, dude.
There you go. Sorry, dude. You get eaten by dogs.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to a heartbreaker. Number 6.
Hodor.
Hold the door.
Hodor. Hodor?
This scene, as I watched it, I felt like my brain was melting because I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe what was happening on the screen. And it's such a heart-wrenching moment when Hodor dies and we find out that his name is only Hodor because he repeated the phrase, hold the door, hold the door, hold the door, because of something that was happening in the present. It's just so...
Yeah.
Oh. I don't even want to think about it anymore.
Hodor is a beloved character, and everybody loved Hodor, the gentle giant who...
Yes.
It's what Hodor. And you kind of knew what he was saying, even though he just said Hodor.
Yeah, well, and he's kind of like the Groot character in that way.
Yeah.
He says one word, but you get what he's saying.
Yeah, but it was sad.
Man,
you feel shame.
Just heartbreaking. Yeah, if you want to be sad, go watch that scene again. If you want to be happy, go ahead and watch our number 5 scene.
Yeah.
Number 5, we got Littlefinger finally meeting his maker.
Yeah. I yelled and cheered at the TV when Sansa says, "How do you plead?" Lord Baelish.
Lord Baelish.
And he's like,
my goodness.
What? Me?
Well, and he instantly goes into his Littlefinger thing.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Let me explain.
Sansa, I love you, Sansa.
It's such a great scene. It shows Littlefinger at his best. It shows Sansa at her best.
Yeah.
It shows Arya at her best.
Arya just like, whatever, dude, you're done.
Yeah, all right. And that's that. That's the end of Littlefinger. Such a satisfying scene.
Yes, it was the most satisfying death in Game of Thrones.
Well,
maybe not. Okay, we'll see.
We're going to get to that.
It was very satisfying.
Don't worry.
Though.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
But that's a very satisfying death. Yeah. No doubt about it. All right, let's move on to number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4 is a memorable death for kind of a minor character, quite frankly.
It is, but it was, the whole first season, he's just a total, ooh, you're going to bring out the dragon. Do you want to see the dragon? I'm the blood of the dragon. Here it comes. You ready? And finally, Khal Drogo's like, yeah, okay, come on, dragon, let's rock.
Yeah, every time he says that, I just want to go, dude,
you're not. No, your sister, she's the mother of dragons. Dragon. You're nothing.
Of course, what we're talking about here is Viserys and how he meets his fate with a golden crown. He keeps talking about how, I want my crown.
Got his crown.
Khal Drogo gave it to him.
He fulfilled what he said he was going to do. Khal Drogo gave him his crown.
Certainly did. But I'll tell you what, so if you haven't seen it, stop watching this. Go watch Game of Thrones.
Go watch Game of Thrones.
When he pours the gold over his head and then it hardens and that clunk when he hits the ground is just so... Yes.
That was one of the first. This is the first season. Or midway through.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
So it really gets you. Yeah. It's very visceral.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate for Viserys.
What about when Stannis gets killed by Brienne?
It's not better than any of those.
No, 10. It's not better than any of those.
No,
come on, man.
Try harder.
Get out of here.
All right. So coming in number 3 was a very shocking moment for everyone who watched the show, and for me doubly painful because I started watching the first season. I watched the whole first season, and this happened in the few seasons after, but I watched the whole first season, and then I started reading the books. And as I was reading the books, I was trying to catch up to the show, and I eventually passed the show. Well, I read this 2 weeks before it aired and then had to watch it. So it hurt my feelings to see the Red Wedding after reading the Red Wedding, and I loved Robb Stark in the book. And then you see Robb Stark get killed, his wife get killed, his mom get killed.
Yeah, so we should say we're breaking the rules a little bit for this one.
We can do that.
But we can't mention the death of Robb Stark without mentioning the death of Catelyn Stark, and, well, that's just the Red Wedding. So number 3 is, of course, the Red Wedding.
And it was just ripped the heart out of so many Game of Thrones fans. And it was just
when you watch that, you go, all right, what the hell are they going to do next?
well, that part when Caitlin reaches over and Ramsay Bolton has got the chainmail underneath, and she's just like, oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no! She knows what's about to happen.
Well, and they're playing the Reigns of Castamere. Yep. There's so much as you watch it for the first time. It's
doesn't hit you.
Holy crap! But when you watch it the second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh time, you go, "Oh my God! How did they not see that they were walking into this?
Why were you even doing it?"
Yeah, and it's just it was devastating, just devastating. So it's such a great scene, though.
It is.
The whole thing. It's just so great.
But speaking of gut wrenching, the next one, number two,
Ned, he loses his head.
I mean, everyone, you know, and you have that meme out there of everyone, oh yeah, Ned Stark's my favorite character. I can't wait till he's on the Iron Throne. You're like, oh, you just started, didn't you? Yeah. Poor Sean Bean.
I could not believe the first time I watched through Game of Thrones, I could not believe they were actually killing the main character. Because for season 1, Ned Stark is the main character.
It's filmed with him as the main character, although he's not the main character in the series, obviously.
No, of course not.
But he's filmed that way. And, you know, for people who watched, you know, Game of Thrones, most of them have watched The Lord of the Rings, and poor Ned Stark dies early in The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. You know, he's like, this poor dude just dies. Everything, he's dead.
Yeah.
You know, he's on another show I watch now, Snowpiercer, and I'm kind of like, he's going to die.
He's going to die.
Don't worry, but
that's what he does.
He hasn't yet,
Sean
but you're
Bean,
like, he's going to die.
That's what he does. Sean Bean he dies. He dies well.
But Phil, you were very salient at the point, and everyone was like, how do they kill the main character?
Yeah. Well, and that was another way. Yeah, I finished the first season of Game of Thrones, and I'm like, well, what the hell are they going to do now? They're not going to
kill him. And then you're like, holy crap, they killed him.
It's just amazing. But yeah, I mean, Ned goes out because he's an honorable man. And that's it.
If not for him being an honorable man, the show doesn't happen, frankly.
Well, you know what? You play the Game of Thrones, you either win
or you die.
Or you die.
He died.
That's it.
Yep.
All right, that's going to move us on to our number one death.
No surprise.
Should be pretty obvious at this point. We're talking about the Purple Wedding. Yes, sir. That is Joffrey.
Yes.
Going down. It has to be the most satisfying death in the series.
Who did you hate more than Joffrey?
Nobody. Well,
nobody. Ramsay maybe later.
Until Ramsay came along.
I still hated Joffrey more.
Yeah.
Because Joffrey was an insolent child. Ramsay was strategic in his brutalness.
That's very true.
You know, and he had a goal and aspirations. Joffrey was just evil to be evil.
Yeah, and he just enjoyed it. And
he enjoyed being evil.
It was bred into him, right? He's a product of incest, and he just likes it.
So
it's just that simple.
You know, it was a great death. You know, which also led to, you know, because of Joffrey's death, made one of the great scenes in Game of Thrones with Tyrion's speech on trial. You know, so it gave us so many good things. But
guilty. I wish to confess.
I wish I was the monster you think I am. But you know,
so good.
That death was just everyone when he dies was just like, thank God.
Oh yeah, and you know what? And it's all thanks to the brilliant portrayal from Jack Gleason.
Dude, great actor.
He's so good, and he retired at the age of like 16.
That someone's. I mean,
dude, so good.
Ramsay, do you know you're a great actor? Cersei, when people are mad at you in real life,
right,
for how you portrayed a character, that just tells me that you are a fantastic actor.
That's exactly right. And you know, all of them, all of the really vile villains. You just said it with Joffrey, with Ramsay, with Cersei.
Yep.
All of those people have been threatened in real life because they're so good at what they do, and it's just great.
It was great.
So that's our number one pick, of course, Joffrey. Yeah, screw that guy.
Had to be Joffrey.
It had to be Joffrey. What I'd like you to do, though, is remind you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, all of that good stuff. We are out there. Remember to share us with all your nerd friends and let us know what you think. Did we miss one?
Yeah.
Did we miss several? Let us know in the comments. We can't wait to see it. And with that, we will say, what's on your nerd card?